Hi friends, welcome to another episode of That Gardener channel. Today we're going to be doing a small harvest of our carrots here. Not a lot of carrots of course, but we have a very small vegetable patch here, as you all know, and we are actually going through a drought, which is a bit unfortunate, and this is why we haven't posted a lot of videos recently. Really unfortunate, and that's climate change. We haven't had a lot of rain, and we've been conserving the water, and it's not good for us to be using all the water for the our garden, while most people don't have enough water for cooking and drinking in our country at this point. So in Kenya we don't have a lot of water, but we've been doing our best with making sure that our garden can just survive through this point until the rain season comes, hopefully in a couple of days. This is our little patch where we're growing the carrots. So we are growing the finger size carrot variety, precisely the size of a finger, as the name suggests. The reason for that is, of course, that we don't have a very deep vegetable garden bed here. However, the good thing with carrots is, of course, you can pick and choose the variety you want to grow based on the depth of the actual soil that you're going to sow the seeds in. We are growing them directly from seeds, and carrots are actually perfect for that, to grow directly from the seeds. You can conserve the seeds after you dry out the carrots. Once they start to flower, you can pick out the seeds and sow them, or you can just buy the seeds in the market, making sure that they are organic seeds, and then you can sow them, and they generally do very well in terms of germination, about 14 days. So they do extremely well. Carrots are heavy feeders, just so that everyone is aware that they do expect a lot of tender love care. When it comes to watering, you want to make sure you water every 5 to 7 days. They love fertilizer, manure, NPK, standard fertilizers, 311, 333, etc. So they are really heavy feeders, when it, just like tomatoes for instance, when it comes to doing well. Otherwise you're not going to get a lot of foliage or even good size carrots that are healthy. In terms of the timeline of harvest, so these particular carrots, we sowed them about 6 months ago, so it can take up to 4 to 6 months for them to actually do well. So the last let's say the timeline when you can sow them in your season would be in the middle of the summer. You don't want to sow them towards the end of the summer. They're just not going to have enough time to grow before the frost season starts. So you want to make sure you give at least 4 to 6 months for them to do well. They do love full sun as well, so that's another thing to keep in mind. They love to have at least 5 hours of sun, but preferably 7 to 10 hours of sun. And then in terms of the pests, we haven't had any, to be honest. The only pests we are worried about with the carrots is the birds. They generally love to eat the foliage, and sometimes we just let that happen. It's okay for our birds to enjoy that. And then you have the squirrels who might also eat the tops, but we haven't had any white flies, for instance, that some of the other farmers do experience, but we haven't had that issue with our carrots. And we also grow these carrots with a lot of herbs and flowers. So we have the marigolds growing here, we have the kamangi growing next to them, so with that we also have the onions growing next to them. So we always try to use the natural means to avoid any pests, and we haven't had that issue with carrots, luckily. The last thing I wanted to say before we get to the harvest is that you absolutely want to make sure that you sow the seeds for the carrots where you want to harvest. Otherwise they are extremely hard to transplant. So let's get started with our little harvest and see what we have here. Hopefully we can get a couple of nice carrots here. So with the carrots, what you want to avoid doing is just pulling them off like this. I've seen some people do that, and what happens is you might damage the actual carrots. You might break part of the carrot, or you might just pull out the foliage itself. So the way we actually generally prefer is you want to, of course, make sure you grow the carrots in very loose soil. You don't want to have any rocks, and that really helps for the roots to grow well. And what you want to do is to dig around very gently where you have the carrots. You dig around it and you loosen the soil a bit further. So you can see our soil is already very loose, but you just want to make sure it's as loose as possible, and then you can gradually start to pick out the carrots one by one as you loosen the soil. That way you're not damaging any of the carrots. So let's see what we have here. Here's one. So again, these are the finger variety of carrots. They're not going to grow extremely long, but we're expecting a couple of nice beauties. Here we go. These are extremely sweet, this variety. We don't have a lot here, as you can see, but we're hoping to get at least a couple of them for dinner. As you know, we like to do these small harvests because we don't have a lot of land here, but it always helps to get at least a few of these. Go, a couple more nice ones here. I think that would be it. One more, not too bad. We have about 8 carrots or so. Small variety of carrots, and should be enough for our dinner. We're going to use it for our salad, and quite grateful that we got something out during our dry season, and hopefully we can sow them again and get something out. So that's really it, guys, for our little harvest for our dinner. Thank you so much for joining, and hope to see you next time. And please hit the like and subscribe video if you enjoyed our video today. Thanks a lot. Bye.